We're here for the consumers. We're here to promote homeopathy in Canada, but also beyond. We want to make it accessible and usable for everyone. Lots of professionals are attracted to listening to our webinars and that, but professionals have their own resources. They have their professional associations, and the consumers, the day-to-day people in the homes, just giving homeopathy to their kids, trying it for their stuff, wanting to learn more. We want to be a great, more than great, an excellent and extraordinarily useful and reliable resource for them. So we want high quality information that people can rely on and that they can digest because it's presented in that format, and to do as much as that as possible without too much charge or too many walls to jump over.
So we do offer a live free webinar once a month, and if somebody happens to miss it, then they can come to our website and they can subscribe. I think it's as little as $5 a month. We have over 48 webinars that they have access to, and there's a ton of free webinars on there as well. So, we want to produce as many webinars as we can. Again, just bringing the information to the surface and allowing home prescribers to.
Today's guests are Erin Ellis and Danielle Nemeth from Canadians for Homeopathy. Now, I was so surprised and delighted to learn about their incredible organization today. Their mission is to make homeopathy accessible and easy to understand for home users. And they have an incredibly cheap as membership, which allows you access to 48 different webinars that they already have recorded and counting. There's more every month, and you get access to all of that when you become a member of Canadians for Homeopathy. It is available to anyone around the world, so don't let the Canadian part put you off. They are open to anyone around the world, and they have got some incredible webinars that are already available for you to go and listen to and empower you on your home prescribing journey specifically. So go check out canadiansforhomeopathy.com or email learn@canadiansforhomeopathy.com. You can also find them on Instagram and Facebook. So Canadians for Homeopathy. So it's FOR, not the number 4. You'll find them on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, do reach out to them and make sure to sign up, and make sure to share this with your friends as well. If you have a friend who is a home prescriber and interested in really leveling up their home prescribing, this is probably the most incredible, valuable, cheap resource that is out there. So please go and support these people because they are doing amazing, amazing work. You are going to love this episode, I'm sure. Thank you so much for listening.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout podcast, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now our mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and welcome back to Homeopathy Hangout, where today we have Erin Ellis and Danielle Nemeth from the Canadians for Homeopathy on the podcast. So not one, but two lovely ladies. Welcome to the show, Erin and Danielle.
Thank you so much, Eugenie. We're thrilled to be here.
We've had such a fun chat already, but I figured we should probably press the record button and let our listeners be part of the conversation, not have too much fun by ourselves. You ladies know the drill. I would love to hear how you first introduced to homeopathy. Erin, do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. Well, I got introduced because I started seeing a homeopath in my early 20s. And, thinking about talking with you today, I realized homeopathy's been part of my life for over half my life now. And how amazing and lucky am I? That's so cool. So I had some random health stuff. I'd had migraines about 2 doozies of every year, and, just a variety of things that, conventional medicine offered me, pharmaceuticals, and I didn't know any better and took it. And we had a family friend who had horrible migraines. They were legendary. They would last minimum 2 hours daily, sometimes up to 15 hours every day. And she saw this homeopath in our city. And our city probably had 200,000 people then, in the middle of the Canadian prairies. And so it was kind of unusual. We had a homeopath. And in one remedy, her migraines reduced to almost nil. And I heard this story and I thought, I have to see this. I have to check this out. So I did, and I went, and it was such a weird experience. And he asked me if I lost my car after I left the malls and all these crazy things. And one remedy later, and I never renewed any of the, the one or two prescriptions I was on, and I just knew I felt different. So I saw him for a long time before I needed a career change, and it was pretty obvious what to choose.
I love that. And yeah, do you know what you say about this being unusual? There's a homeopath in the prairies, but there's homeopaths everywhere. I keep hearing about like other homeopaths in Perth. I'm like, I thought I knew about all of them, but they like to lurk around, don't they? They are there.
Right, like little hidden gems for us to find.
Yeah.
We should turn it into an app or a board
Fossick
game.
around. We should. Like instead of the Pokemon app, have like the Find a Homeopath app. Homeopath hunting. Danielle, how did you find homeopathy?
Oh, how did I find homeopathy? My son was in some dire straits. He was having a lot of health complications as a little one, and it had become chronic. And, as his mom, I was really at my wit's end. I wanted answers, I wanted root causes, and nothing felt authentic that I was getting. So I kept digging and I kept digging. And really, when I would say at my most fearful point, actually, and I just sort of had to hand my worries over, somebody said, "Have you tried homeopathy?" And I did one of these. What's homeopathy? I've never heard that word before. So we started seeing a homeopath, and month over month, I watched my child come back to me. And within a year, he was completely baseline again. And I really tried to put it down. I thought, I'll just learn as a home prescriber and a home user, and I can do this for my family. And then I thought, no, I'll just take a foundations course. I just need to know a little more. And I couldn't. I'm now a year and a half away from graduating and becoming a homeopath myself because I really need to share this with as many families and as many people as I can and just bring awareness to homeopathy overall.
I love that. And can we just like take a silent moment or not so silent moment to thank every single person out there who has ever been brave enough to say to someone, have you ever heard of homeopathy? Or have you thought of homeopathy? Can we just like take a moment? Because how many of us have started our journey because of one person being brave enough to say that? Because let's face it, sometimes we go, oh, I don't know if I want to say something. They might think I'm weird. I don't know. But there are actually people who are brave enough to say, have you thought of homeopathy? And how many of us has that sparked an interest in? And look, you're going to say that sometimes and nothing's going to come from it. And people are going to think you're weird and they probably will never want to talk to you again, whatever. But you got to sprinkle those seeds because sometimes they're going to take root and really make a change in someone's life.
Definitely. That's so true. Yeah, appreciation. It is an act of bravery in sometimes.
Absolutely. Now, you guys have got a very noble cause that you work for called Canadians for Homeopathy. And when I went to go have a look on your website and see what you do, I was like, what are these guys selling? What's their thing? But you are genuinely just out there to try and promote homeopathy. Well, not try, you are doing it and you're hosting free webinars. I saw my buddy Marcus Fernandez is doing a free webinar there in March, like a home prescriber thing. And you guys are just passionate about helping people talk to others about homeopathy or educating them about homeopathy. And I think that is freaking amazing. So, firstly, congratulations. Secondly, Erin, do you want to tell us a little bit about Canadians for Homeopathy? When did it start? And I've probably spoiled a little bit now, but what's your mission?
Perfect. No, perfect. We started in 2017 as a special project. It had a different name then for Homeopathy Canada, as a special project off a larger charity that was natural health promotion focused. And homeopathy wasn't getting a lot of attention. So a couple of people who were involved in it were, homeopaths and said, can we do this? And it started that way and sort of modeled after for homeopathy in the UK. And then that larger organization disbanded right as we were starting to grow. So we decided to go it on our own and formed a nonprofit organization. And I mean, when I say a scrappy, dedicated group of volunteers, like it's a working board of directors. And this, there's three of us that have kind of carried forward from the old days, two who are still really, from the very beginnings. And we're here for the consumers. We're here to, like you said, promote homeopathy in Canada, but also beyond. And so with that consumer focus, we want to make it accessible and usable for everyone. The professionals are lots of professionals are attracted to listening to our webinars and that, but we professionals have their own resources. They have their professional associations and the consumers, the day-to-day people in the homes just giving homeopathy to their kids, trying it for their stuff, wanting to learn more. We want to be a great, like more than great, an excellent, an extraordinarily useful and reliable resource for them. So, we want high quality information that people can rely on and that they can digest because it's presented in that format. And to do as much as that as possible without too much charge or too many walls to jump over.
That sounds amazing. And you already have like recordings and stuff on your website then that people can watch as well. Maybe Danielle can tell us a little bit about that. Like, how do people access the information or sign up, or where do they go?
Yeah, we keep it really simple. So we do offer a live free webinar once a month. And unfortunately, if somebody happens to miss it, then they can come to our website and they can subscribe. I think it's as little as $5 a month. We have over 48 webinars that they have access to, and there's a ton of free webinars on there as well. So, we want to produce as many webinars as we can. Again, just bringing the information to the surface and allowing home prescribers to come in and gain as much information as they can.
That's amazing. So like kind of your target audience is definitely like home prescribers, right? And it's like as little as $5 a month, and they get access to like these 48 recorded webinars that you already have, and then every month there's new ones. That's
Exactly.
amazing. So are they like live webinars where people can come on and ask questions?
Yeah, once a month we do the live webinar, which is free for anyone. We're committed to keeping that free in case the subscription isn't for someone or isn't affordable for them at any point in time. If they show up live, it's free and almost it's always up to the guest, and we have an amazing selection. Like we have varied guests, international. Marcus is on in 2 weeks, and we're so excited. And almost everyone offers to stay for a free Q&A. So to stay to offer live Q&A. So anyone who attends can do that.
That's amazing. What sort of guests have you had on so far? And what sort of topics have you covered? Have you got a list there, or have I just put you on the spot?
We've had some lovely Miranda Castro has presented for us on babies and I think early years or postpartum. We've got lots of local Canadian homeopaths. The principals of each of the two sort of major Canadian schools in Ontario have talked about what it looks like to become a homeopath in Canada. One of our original board of directors, Nicole Duelli, did one that is free for anyone on the website about wildfires because wildfire has become quite an issue in Canada lately.
So remedies for wildfire, like, with
Yeah,
smoke inhalation and things like that. Oh, cool. So what sort of other things do you have available as replays?
Yeah, we've got Camilla Scher did one for us on agrohomeopathy,
That's awesome.
homeopathic plant health. We have one that we just did this fall on reclaiming fever as an essential part of healing. So taking away some of that fear, presented by a Canadian naturopath who does a lot of teaching of homeopathy at the college. Homeopathy for, emotional first aid. Homeopathy for shock, grief, and trauma. We've got stuff on tissue salts and Bach flowers. That's kind of a good taster. We've done some one on dental health from a couple years ago, sports injuries. So a huge variety of presenters and just a massive variety of topics.
That is
Mhm.
absolutely incredible. So this is for anyone around the world, right? You don't have to be in Canada. So anyone around the world who's a home user who just wants to know how to properly treat fevers or sports injuries or use tissue salts, they can pay like $5 a month and have access to all of these recordings. That is probably the best value for money that I have ever heard anyone say on the podcast. Like, I actually can't believe it's that little. That's incredible value that you're giving. Like, seriously incredible value.
I think it's important that everybody has access to this information. Yeah, and I'll just give you a little sneak peek. We have like the Confident Home Prescriber. We did one last month that I loved. Help, I've chosen the right remedy and it isn't working. This is where our home users can start to really get turned around. But we have one coming up on breast health and lactation. And then I think we also try and keep it a little seasonal, right? So we have bites and stings coming up in the summer. We'll do coughs and flus in the winter. So yeah, we try and keep it.
Oh, can I put in some like requests? UTIs, if
Yes.
you haven't got it already. Thrush, if you haven't got it already. That's like two of the top things that people always ask me about. Have you got one on potency? Because like a potency lecture for home prescribers would be so good because they're always asking you, about these things. I love that you've got that. I've given a remedy and it hasn't worked. That's so good. Like this is the type of stuff that we need to teach home users, right? But it sounds like
Those
you've got a huge selection already. But yeah, I'll just add my two
those are
cents there.
great suggestions. And you know what? That's actually really cool. If people have ideas of what they'd like to hear, they can email us.
Careful, careful what you put out there. You'll be scammed.
That's true.
I mean, that is incredible that you've got. Have you got like, is it just the webinars that they watch, or do you have like a community type thing that goes with that?
Just the webinars at the moment, but our social media is where we're really trying to build our community. And yeah, we're on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, working on growing that and offering we do offer a few little lives here and there just for fun, especially Homeopathy Awareness Week. We're going to do some stuff, and it's a fun platform to be able to offer these little things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to give us
Um,
your social handles as well? So just while you're at it, like where can people find you?
yes, they can find us on Instagram at Canadians for Homeopathy, and it's FOR, not the number.
Mhm.
Same as Facebook. On YouTube, we do have some free offerings there, as well as our website, which is canadiansforhomeopathy.com. And then we do post a newsletter once per month with all the relevant homeopathic information going on.
It's amazing. So who do you have running this? Like who are all the people involved?
Well, we have this, like I said, this scrappy, dedicated, hardworking board of directors. So there's five of us, six of us. Plus, Danielle has been an absolute gift. She joined us a little less than a year ago as some very part-time admin support and has changed everything. We now actually, we respond to emails in a timely manner, and we can keep up with some of these things. And we're really now growing more because, honestly, largely because the right help showed up in this wonderful person.
Oh, it's also amazing that you're doing this, Danielle, while you're studying and getting your fingers in the pie and just getting involved. And I think it's so important for students around the world to do that. Like, don't wait until you've studied before you go and volunteer at homeopathic organizations. Like, get your hands dirty, get in there and help where you can, especially if you're younger and you're into tech, because I see a lot of homeopathic organizations that's mostly run by older homeopaths who maybe are not as tech savvy. And I see the way that they do things, and I think, I wish we could just get like a young, fresh energy in there to like zhuzh it up a little bit for them, automate systems, make things a little bit easier so there's not so much manual work involved. So if you are, a student homeopath, get in there, go volunteer your time for sure. It's so needed.
Yeah. First of all, I love that you referred to me as younger, so thank you. Secondly, it's been incredible for me because I've been able to join a homeopathic community beyond my school, Ontario College of Homeopathic Medicine. So, when you're surrounded by like-minded individuals, it just comes with such a fresh, energetic, passionate feeling. But then you go out into the world, and we were talking earlier before we were recording about, you're the person who's saying, have you tried homeopathy? So you can feel this quite isolated. I live in a small town. I don't think anybody really knows homeopathy until I mention it. So by joining Canadians for Homeopathy, it's one more community that I get to be a part of. Erin and I have grown quite close, and I get to pick her homeopathic ear here and there, and she's become quite a mentor to me. So
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. That's so beautiful. I mean, it's just that beautiful energy exchange, hey, when you have that going, it's just so precious. It's really, really great. Tell us a bit more about Canadians for Homeopathy. Like, what have we missed today? Like, this is your opportunity to really like tell the world about what you guys do. And yeah, just what have we missed? What else do you want the public to know about your service?
Yeah, Danielle, maybe you want to talk about the four pillars.
Yes, that is excellent. So, our mission really is built on these four pillars, which is to advocate, educate, communicate, and celebrate homeopathy. Like we said, in Canada, but really globally. And I think it's really important. We've been connecting globally with a lot of people, and just collaboration is so important in promoting homeopathy overall. But we welcome the opportunity to share this information with you and your listeners to provide free educational resources and our community initiatives with your audience. And our intention is always to provide value first. And we just invite your listeners to stay connected with us and to continue to learn with us.
I love it. It sounds like we're like kindred spirits. We're kind of doing like a similar thing, just getting out there and educating people and sharing about homeopathy. I think it's so valuable.
I would also say that, yes, we are Canadians for homeopathy. Yes, it's Canadians right in the title, but we're not limited to that. Our beautiful speakers are international. And we are trying to offer this. We do offer this information that's valuable to anyone at any time. Our website, we have a lovely FAQ page, for example, or, some of the free videos, which are available anytime. Doesn't matter what time zone you're in. Doesn't matter if it's the middle of the night in Canada. Check them out. We love that it is such a community,
Mm.
internationally. And like you said, Eugenie, like same vibe.
And so you
Yeah.
don't have to call your beanie a toque to be accepted into the group.
I love that you know that.
Correct. You don't have to love maple taffy.
I never got to have maple taffy when I was there. I feel so left out. Danielle, you said something about oats before. Like I used to just always make my friends say, what do you like? We call it a dunny over here in Australia. Like, what do you guys call it? Oh, oatos. I love it.
Oh,
Love the
yes.
accent,
There's so
oatos.
many funny words. I was actually in the States one day and it happened to be cold, and I went into a store and I was pointing behind. I said, I'll take that toque. And the woman looked at me like, and in the moment I'm trying to think of another word. And so finally I just said, the winter hat. And she said, oh, the beanie. Yeah, you forget that as Canadians, we have this cute little accent.
It's very cute.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing. Alrighty, ladies. Is there anything else that we might have missed? People have got your website, so canadiansforhomeopathy.com. They've got your email address. So there's learn@canadiansforhomeopathy.com. They can find you on Instagram and Facebook. I think it's an absolute steal that your membership is so low. And I think it's incredible for our home users around the world. I mean, I've often thought about creating free resources like that myself. It's one of my very long lists of to do. But honestly, why would I bother if I can just send people to you? You've already got everything there. And I'm definitely going to be sharing that in my free mums Facebook group as well. I've got about 2,700 Australian mums in there. So I'll be sure to post it in there because there's so many home users there who would just like to be more confident in their home prescribing. And as Marcus will say to you in his talk in March, the home prescriber talk, that that's really like Robin Murphy said that as well, was his mentor, that home prescribing really is like the highest form of homeopathy, and it's how homeopathy has survived all these 200 plus years, all the times that we get attacks and people are not allowed to practice. It's the home users that's always kept homeopathy alive. And if we can empower mothers, I really think that is how we change the world. And I don't say that lightly because, and I'm sure you've seen this as well in practice, Erin, when you have a mum coming in and she is so anxious, she's got her newborn baby, she's running to the doctor or the ER for the tiniest little things, like the things that I sometimes hear new mums go to the ER for with their babies. I'm like, it breaks my heart that they don't have the confidence to treat that at home. And at the moment, especially after COVID, there's so many ERs that are overrun. You can't get a space with a doctor. I don't know about in Canada, but over here, there's like huge wait lists. You can't see the doctor for days. Now it's more important than ever that we empower ourselves with the knowledge of healing our family as a first line. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. So, great example. We just went to the Nannup Music Festival this weekend. We had a free homeopathy acute care stand there. And the medical first aid tent was right opposite us. So I was really nervous going there because I've chatted with other homeopaths who've done this and they've said, the first aid guys are the hardest people to get on board. You really have to work hard to get them on board. So I didn't know what to expect. I arrived. The second the head lady of the tent saw me, she was like, I'm so glad the homeopaths are here. We can work together. This is great. I love homeopathy. And I'm like, what? So we were sending people back and forth all weekend. And that is what it should be like. We should be working together. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And so this is what I'm saying when I'm saying homeopathy needs to be first line of defense. It's not that you shouldn't go to the doctor. It's that minor things you should be able to treat at home and have the confidence to do so, so that we can leave the ER rooms for the people who really do need it. And in that process, and Erin, I know that you've seen this in your clinic too. You have this anxious mum. She's going to the doctor for everything. She is so stressed the entire time. Baby feels that stress. And now you have like a colicky baby that's upset all the time because they're feeling their mother's stress. the second they get this confidence of using homeopathy and treating themselves, they relax, they feel confident, baby's chilled because they can feel mum's confident. And then you have a mother who can't be pushed around. So if she does need to go to hospital, and I know you would have seen this in practice too, Erin, is mums that tell us in clinic, I didn't want to do it, but I felt forced into it. If you've got a confident mother, she does not get forced into things that goes against her gut instinct. And that is what we want. Sorry, this is turning into like a rambly. I would have warned you before that I had a coffee and I've not been having coffee for months. So I'm blaming this on my coffee ramble. But if you have an empowered mother, we change the world because you cannot muck around with a mum who is strong in her instincts, in her confidence to treat her children and care for her family. End of rant. I'm done.
Eugenie, you're
Beautiful. Bring
telling
it
my
on.
story.
Mhm.
You're telling my story. I didn't want to take up a lot of time at the beginning of the episode, but that is my story. I felt pushed into things I didn't understand. And unfortunately, my child suffered the consequences of some of my actions, my decisions, because I didn't have the confidence to move forward that I needed. And I do have that now. And that's the main thing, is to empower people to take this into their hand. And the benefits of that are, yes, alleviating wait times. We have huge wait times in our hospitals. I moved to a location 6 years ago and I only got a doctor last year. So, yeah, people need to understand that they can be taking control of the small things in their home. And I always say, and if it's a chronic issue, seek a professional homeopath.
That's what we're there for. And I mean, I haven't even watched your lectures, but I would say for anybody joining for your membership, go watch the fever lecture first, because even if we can just understand fevers, and I even already was using homeopathy when I had my little one, but when he had his first fever, even I was freaking out a little bit. I did use homeopathy. Obviously, he was completely fine. After about a year or so of being a mum, like first time mum, and using homeopathy for a while, I never gave them any remedies for fevers again after that. I just let it run its course. But, he had the belladonna the first little while just, to get on top of that fever. But just helping mums to understand, why is your body throwing up a fever? It's so important. So I love that you have a webinar on fevers. So I haven't even watched it, but I would just say go sign up for your $5 a month. Go watch the fever webinar if you're a new mum, because understanding that, I should say new parents. Sorry, it's just that I have a real passion for mothers, but the new parent, go watch the fever webinar so you can understand what it is that's happening in your child's body and how you can treat it with homeopathy or support it with homeopathy.
And I think and it just occurred to me as you were talking that being holistic, the other thing being in a homeopath's office does is they get a chance to say, are you okay, mom?
Mm.
Like, and the home user can be, maybe you just need a dose of rescue remedy right now. And you'll remember that if you get empowered to go, right, if I'm okay, let's center me too. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. All the empowered all around is beautiful. And that's exactly what we do. And I would also just say, I think we have a newsletter that is, sign up for the newsletter also, because we do little tidbits. Danielle puts that together for us, and there is little cool informative tidbits, so you can get little bits of knowledge and empowerment there too.
Amazing. Is there anything else we've missed? This is your chance.
I just want to say that our live free webinars are really the cornerstone of what we offer. They're educational, but they're also interactive. Like, this is a community. We want people asking questions. We want the chat section blowing up. We always do a Q&A at the end so they get a chance to hear live like what that answer is, and just sharing experiences, discussing remedies. They start to help each other out in the chat, like, oh, did you know you can get that, in this potency? And they help each other like where to navigate to purchase them. So it is a sense of community, and it really is one of our favorite aspects of our work.
Oh, I love it. Erin, Danielle, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for putting this incredible service together for our community and for our home users. I absolutely love it. And I think you're going to help create a whole new generation of homeopaths, because let's face it, once these home users start watching a few of these webinars and, like Danielle, see how amazing homeopathy is, then they might want to study as well. The world definitely needs more homeopaths. And look, if you love your whatever job you're doing, you have no interest in being a homeopath, that is completely fine as well, because we need confident, strong home prescribers who can take charge of their family's health. And that, at the end of the day, is what will keep homeopathy alive for many more centuries to come.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for
much.
having us on. This
It's a
is
pleasure.
fun.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
It was lots of fun. Speak with you soon.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye.